Yes, that unmistakable music tells you it is time to bring you Gimme the Hot Sauce, episode 26. Great number 26s in the world of sports. From football, Adrian Peterson, Rod Woodson, Saquon Barkley. From baseball, the immortal Billy Williams, the great sweet-swinging Cubs left-handed hitter. We've got Wade Boggs, Darryl Strawberry, a lot of great names in sports. From basketball, former Bull Kyle Korver wore number 26. And if you're following us, watching us on YouTube, which you should do that so you can watch and join in all the fun, you see we've upgraded today. No Timmy Whispers. Southside Susan is here.
A deeper voice.
Wow.
Whispers is a way of taking care of important Nautilus medical business.
Yes,
so we we wish him well with that, and we'll welcome him back next week. But we're glad to be here in the facility, cranking out episode 26 to Give Me the Hot Sauce. Stacey, our special guest today is going to be Carlos Correa. You've got the Montreal Expos cap, so you're in the baseball frame of mind.
Yes, yes. You know, I always liked the Montreal Expos colors and their hats. I thought they were pretty sweet. You know, there's a bunch of vintage hats that I collect that I like to wear. You know, like the Pittsburgh Pirate, the box top with the stripes.
We are family.
We are family. Yeah,
no, that was a sweet hat too. There's a lot of them I like to wear. The A's used to have a good one too. So, yeah, I'm a baseball hat collector.
Yeah, that's 79 World Series. The Pittsburgh Pirates and the Baltimore Orioles, where the Willie Stargell led them back. I think they were down 3-1. They came back to win it. That was a classic. And those unis, those were sweet.
Yeah, they were. They were. That's how I became a Pirate fan.
Yeah.
And then when Barry Bonds came, I was a Pirate fan. And then they just kind of went down the hill.
Before he turned into the Incredible Hulk, is that what you said?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the magical, what is it, the clear?
The clear and the cream. Montreal is a great stop.
Yeah.
In the baseball. I mean, I know the Montreal Canadiens, it was fun to go there for hockey, but for baseball, I had a chance to go there during the summertime to Montreal and to see the Olympic Stadium that was built for them. And I read a book, Up and Away, about the Expos. Great read. All the great players they had. A lot. Andre Dawson played there. Tim Rock Raines played there. Steve Rogers. You know, Gary Carter. They had some amazing teams. So
and they were the team that was done in by the 81 baseball strike. I think they had the best record overall, but they didn't win either half, so they didn't get
Larry
into the playoffs.
Larry Walker.
Look at all this baseball.
Pedro Martinez.
Yeah. Baseball show.
Yeah, we are ready to go.
That was an awesome team.
Yeah. Well, Carlos is in the On Deck Circle. We'll get to him in a little bit. First, we're going to start with our weekly check of the NBA and the Bulls. We're coming at you, recording this on a Tuesday morning, so we're up bright and early to get this done. And Stacey, you called a good game last night. The Bulls beat the Miami Heat. The Twin Towers combining, they each had 20 points and 10 rebounds.
I tell you what, it's going to be really hard to not re-sign Daniel Tice.
Oh, yeah.
Seriously. I mean, because honestly, he does everything that you want out of your big. I mean, he can play the 4, he can play the 5. He's interchangeable at those positions. Okay, he's not the best three-point shooter, but he shoots close to 35% for a big guy. That's pretty good. At least he is a threat out there. He has high basketball IQ. Defensively, I mean, back line of our defense when he's in a game, you just have so much confidence that he's going to rebound, he's going to be where he's supposed to be on the rotation, he's going to block shots.
What did you think initially when Billy went to that lineup where he had the two big guys? Now Lauri Markkanen played the 3 down the stretch. That's 3 big guys. Sometimes it can make you a little bit vulnerable in the defensive end, but it worked down the stretch. They took advantage of Miami's lack of size up front. Were able to close the game with that lineup.
Well, you know, with Troy Brown Jr. being out, it's forced Billy to have to, kind of rotate guys in there at that 3 spot. He's tried different combinations. He's given it to Lowry because Lowry can shoot the basketball, and then it gives them extra height. I mean, it's tough to match up with 3 6'11", 7-footers out there. If Lowry can play position defense, where he just stays in front of guys and then, utilizes his length and his height, he could play that position. Because if you think about Lowry on offense anyway, he's on the perimeter anyway. He's actually playing a small forward.
Right.
So it's not something like a stretch, like, we're going to put him out there and, he's going to be lost out there. He plays out there all the time. He takes the majority of his shots from the 3-point line. So I give Billy credit for putting him out there and giving him an opportunity because you want him on the floor. I mean, he's too valuable to this team not to be in some kind of role. But with Tice playing the way he is and with Vooch playing the way he is, it's tough to get him minutes at that 4 and 5 and Thad too. So those 3 players are really making it hard for him to get any minutes at that 4 or 5 position. So Billy now is putting him at that 3 just to get him on the floor, and it's worked out.
So the Bulls split the 2 games in Miami, and John, you produced Stacey's games for so long. You had to chuckle when you heard the call on Denzel Valentine's pull up from the hash mark on Saturday.
He started it. It was no. And then Adam, no. And then it was the worst shot, and then that trended. Yeah, I was laughing. He was doing a little play-by-play, King, which is good to see because he's versatile, and some levity to the moment because you were down 4. Right at that point,
it's a 2-possession
game, right?
Just bring back memories on that one, man. Listen, I'm a Denzel Valentine
way to bring
fan.
It down.
Yeah, way to bring the whole show down there, Mark. I'm a big Denzel Valentine fan. I think he has a skill set. I know a lot of people right now saying, "No, he's not, Stacey. No, he's not." Yeah, I like his game. He has a good basketball IQ. It didn't show on that play, but pretty much consistently, he's been the Bulls' best passer when he's on the floor. He can knock down shots. I think the problem with Denzel is that I think he needs to find out what his role is on this team and fill that role. I think a lot of times these guys, because they want to be something that they're not, they want a bigger piece of the pie. Mm-hmm. Therefore, they do the things that they're not capable of doing. But if you play a role, if you come in and you're a spot-up shooter, be the best spot-up shooter you can be. If you're a knockdown three-point guy, you have to knock down shots. That's your role. If you're a ball mover and a dribble penetrator to get everybody else involved, play that role. And that's the one thing I think with this team. You got so many kids on this team that think that they're the man, and really they're not. Yeah. And that's what's wrong with some of this NBA, because you pay these guys like they're LeBron James and some of these superstar players, and they're not even on that level, but they get paid like they are, so they think that they are. So you got to play roles in the NBA, man. That's how you win championships. You can't have everybody trying to be the main guy, like Phil would always say, too many Chiefs, not enough Indian type thing. Everybody wants to be the man, and you got to be able to fill a role.
Yeah, one thing's for sure, Denzel's not lacking for confidence. And another guy who doesn't lack for confidence is Coby White, and his numbers have really shot up since Zach LaVine has been out because of the COVID health and safety protocols. He's cut down on his turnovers. He's had like almost a 5-to-1 ratio, which is elite in terms of assist to turnovers. And the game, Billy Donovan mentioned the other night after the game that he feels like it's slowing down a little bit. People have to remember, Coby White is 21 years old. He's in his second NBA season. Everybody wants it now. And I think if they continue to work with this kid, he can do some things for him that don't just put him in a box and say all he can do is shoot, because he's got other skills.
Well, you got to remember, this is basically his first year.
Right.
Technically, this is his rookie year. He's being coached by a really good coach. Mm-hmm. They've given him the keys to the car to be a point guard, and he's learning on the go. He's learning on the fly. Last year, his role was to be Ben Gordon. Just come off the bench, try to get 25 or 30. That was his role. So his mindset for all those games last year has been score first, pass second. Now you're asking him, we need you to pass first, pass second, shoot third. And that's really hard for a young player to do, especially coming from how much success he had as a rookie last year to his second year in the league. Now you're asking him to redefine his role and do something different. Now, I will say this about Coby. Coby is such an elite. He's got elite speed. For 6'5", the kid can go up and down super fast. And sometimes he gets to going so fast that he's out of control. And he just needs to slow down. And that's going to come with time. And what I've learned, what I've seen throughout since Zach has been gone, you can just tell he's much more comfortable being who he is on the floor. You know what I'm saying? Like when you watch him play, the first quarter, he'll have 2 or 3 turnovers. And then it looked like he'll start to revert back to the old Coby. And then he'll get himself under control. And he'll hit a couple of shots. And then all of a sudden, bang, he's on a roll.
Here's some stats for you. Since he started, come back in the starting lineup, they're 4-3. He's averaged 19. Yeah. Like you said, 6-to-1 assist to turnovers. So that's really amazing, progression for a kid that was struggling at that position.
And when you have a guy, that can spot up shoot, catch and shoot like he can.
He can.
Okay. Yeah. When you got a guy like Vooch who requires a double team, Tice who can make passes out of the post or at the top of the circle, you need guys like Coby. You need a guy that can step up, catch and shoot consistently. When you watch Coby shoot the basketball, you pretty much think it's going in. Yeah. Every shot that he takes from a catch and shoot situation looks automatic. It's sometimes when he gets to going out of control and he's trying to do too much and stop and shoot, that's when it looks like it's really not falling for him. But when he catch and shoot, when he's moving off a double team and there's swing, it looks good every single time.
Yeah, he made 2 big catch and shoot threes in the fourth quarter as they held off the Miami Heat. Of course, you know that our guy Stinger directs games for the Bucks on a regular basis. And first, I got to ask you, what is Bally Sports? I know Bally took over the Fox Sports regionals. What is that? Anyway?
I don't remember talking about this in our production meeting.
I'm just curious.
That's Bally as in the
Fitness?
hotel. No, everybody thinks it's fitness. No, it's the hotel change.
Yeah.
And that's why they went with Bally Sports. And
had to change all the logos and all the signage.
It was quite an undertaking. We did it in the middle of the basketball season. And not only did we change all the look, but a total different philosophy with the Bally bar. That's going to be a constant thing, and we're doing all that.
It's like a ticker on the bottom.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But
and we're doing that.
it's a lot of real estate.
There's a lot of that's valuable real estate in the television.
So it's still
world.
Pfizer Arena, though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Pfizer, but it's Bally. So every Fox region is now Bally. So Fox Sports is gone.
Yeah.
So now it's Bally Sports.
So it's Bally
But
Sports.
it's Bally, not Bally's.
Yeah.
Sports.
Bally.
Too many S's.
Yep.
They took the
Bally.
S out.
Yep.
Bally.
So it's
Sports.
Bally Sports, Wisconsin, North.
So that's all Fox now.
That's all Fox. It's 42 teams, including the Marquee Network, which falls under Bally,
Right.
as well as the Yes Network. They're considered part of Bally.
So you have to tell our guy Jim Paschke, stop saying Fox. You're not on Fox anymore.
Well, he does a good job of that.
Yeah.
I don't think he's mentioned it too much. It's the same thing for the guys that do Brewers. It's now American Family Field. It's no
Right.
longer
Yeah,
Miller
that's
Park.
a tough one.
So we've embraced. You have to embrace change in this business. Having worked at NBC, which Comcast, and Sports Channel.
Sports Channel.
We went through so many changes and so many different corporate philosophies, and for us on the bottom, we just sort of.
It's tough for the fans. I still call
Yeah.
it. I still
Sure.
call it Comiskey. I mean, hello.
Yeah.
Southside.
Well, that was a rant we were going to have later in the show about uniforms, but
Yeah, we'll save that for later in the show. But what I was leading up to is the name has changed, but the problems remain the same for the Bucks. Giannis can't score late.
Last
They
time
don't
I
have any supporting scores.
Last time I checked, they're third in the East at
That was
37 and 23.
Wow,
That was
Well,
tough.
I watch every game. I'm a Milwaukee native, and I just don't like what I see. It just seems like they had that chance 2 years ago when they lost to Toronto in the conference finals, and then Golden State was hurt. Of course, they could have won a championship. Now I don't see them going.
I think their
very far.
I'm
priorities.
with you, Mark.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's great. Wow. The priority is for the postseason, though. I think that's what they're gearing towards. They're trying to figure. They've done some different things,
Right.
Switching, trying to get the ball out of Giannis's hands, like we've talked about. Holiday has been a huge addition. They locked him in, so they're hoping that for the postseason they'll be built to make a run. I see some brilliance at times. I see guys that sometimes can't get shots off, like it was frustrating against Atlanta, like we talked about. They closed
Up
the
10
paint.
in the fourth quarter, and they get hit with like a 25-9 run.
Yeah.
Brutal.
Yeah, and Bogdanovich is, he's hitting, had 35 in the game. Lou Williams had 15 in the fourth. Yeah, so they're back at it tonight against Charlotte. We'll end this road trip with a back-to-back against the Bulls, and we'll see. I mean, maybe Charles Barkley said that they were the team to beat.
Oh, that's a kiss of death right there. When's the last time Charles was right about a prediction?
You know what? Though,
Good night.
but you know what? I mean, listen. I mean, the regular season really is coming down to the point where it really doesn't matter. You already know who the top three teams are going to be, whatever order they're going to be in. The problem with Milwaukee is it's been the problem the last 5 years in the playoffs is that you've got to get the ball out of Giannis's hands. He can't have the ball 99.95% of the time, and he's not a playmaker. He can make the basic pass. But it's when you're getting rotations of 2 or 3 people rotating, that kind of throws him off a little bit. And then on top of that, your shooters. When the game gets tight, can Connaughton make a shot? Can DiVincenzo make a shot?
Yeah.
See, when you're winning, you're up 15, 20.
Everybody's making
Everything.
shots.
But I will say this, though. I will say this, is that they have an advantage because they're playing at home. They're not in a bubble. I thought the bubble really affected them last year. I think being able to play at home and have a home court advantage, even if there's not a lot of crowd in there, just being at the Pfizer Center is going to really, really help them out this year.
Yeah, I guess Stinger's been called away for important Bally business. So we're going to
Bally, Bally,
We're
get
gonna
to work,
continue
boy. Get your butt in here and take this call. Yeah. You work for us.
The thing though, when I watch Milwaukee, every need possession, they go back to that running that 1-4 flat with Giannis at the top of the key, and everybody just loads up the lane and they don't score.
It's not going to work.
They got one speed.
It's not going to work. Listen, you wall him in. It's been proven. Just wall him in. Let him get in there to the point where he gets so far in the paint, and then all of a sudden he's just throwing the ball all over the place.
See, we can say this now that John stepped away.
Yeah, John's going to get over here. We need to talk to you right now, John. That's what Bally's telling right now.
I don't know.
To leave.
Yeah, that Bally ticker is. I think I'm kind of nervous about the whole gambling.
That's the big thing.
Everything's big now.
You guys had a side.
We had a side broadcast.
Yeah, for 2.5 hours.
So
I don't like it, and I see they're getting all that real estate on the bottom of the screen, and I feel like it's just.
But that's the way of the world.
I know. I'm old. I told you, Comiskey,
it's the change.
the
It's
gambling,
the change.
the uniforms.
You either got to change with them or you're going to stay behind.
I know that. I think again, Charles Barkley, I think mentioned this on a recent Inside the NBA. He said that he talked to an owner who said they're not even going to need the TV money because the gambling revenue is going to be so incredible that's going to be able to fund everything for the NBA.
Wow.
That's not good.
Well,
hey, listen, I don't got to worry about that. Hey, you know what? I'm just the man sitting next to the man, and it doesn't concern me. It's above my pay scale, so I don't worry about it.
I'm just the girl fixing the video for the man sitting next to the man.
Unless I was like doing something like a Pete Rose type situation, but I'm not. I don't.
How about Pete Rose? This is something that I rant about at home all the time because I love Pete Rose, and I'm not arguing about his situation and the whole thing. But can you imagine how ironic and rich that's going to be when the whole league just surrenders to gambling and Pete Rose is still sitting there?
Well, you're going to be able to gamble with your remote. Just click a button. Place a wager while you're sitting on your couch.
I tell you what, my kids do it. They bet. Like the other day I was watching a UFC fight and one of my sons was sitting there and he was betting on the fights. Yeah. Who's going to win each fight. And he's like, oh, man, I just lost. Oh, I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm like, the dude lost, not you. He's like, I bet on this one. They play that. I'm like, y'all play that? He said, they bet on everything. Yeah. Like how many buckets a guy's going to make. Right.
You can bet on anything.
Yeah, anything.
It's not just betting on who's going to win or lose a game. Nope. It's every quarter. It's how many points in a quarter. It's spread in a quarter.
Coin flips.
Yeah, it's.
They play draft. I think it's DraftKings or something. Yes. Yeah, that's the one. That's the young kids play. Oh. And they bet on everything. Yeah, I'm like, good Lord.
DraftKings would be a great sponsor for Give Me the Hot Sauce.
Yeah, it would. We're listening. If you're out there listening,
you know
what? Right? We don't turn nothing down but our collars. You know what I'm saying?
I love gambling.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Oh, yeah. Oh, Stinger's back. He just slid back in here.
Oh, no, he's multitasking.
Multitasking. Okay.
Hey, a couple of winning streaks came to an end last night. The Knicks had won 9 in a row, and they lost last night. And then Washington had won 8 in a row. They lost in overtime against the Spurs. It's been interesting to see Washington. We thought they were dead. And, Russell Westbrook had a kind of a tough adjustment when he first got there. Now he's playing at an elite level again. Bradley Beal, he was going back and forth with Steph Curry for the NBA scoring title. What do you make of Washington coming on so strong late in the season?
2 All-Stars.
Yeah,
2 All-Stars. And once they were able to find their way together and learn how to play with each other, everyone else falls along. You got Gafford, who's playing like Dwight Howard. They've got so many, Bertrands who knocks down threes. When you got a guard like Russell Westbrook that can break down the defense and find shooters and find the big guy. He's throwing lobs to Gafford. He's finding Bertrands for threes. Bradley Beal's coming off screens and being able to get buckets and scoring 35, 40 points. If they made a commitment to defense, it seems like. It seems like that light went off like, hey, we got to play some defense. We're just not going to outscore everybody. So they're attempting to play defense, and I think that's been the big key for them. And then just realizing veteran players, they want to get to the playoffs. We're not here to just be playing, basketball. We're here to play in the playoffs. And if we got to, play a play-in game, so be it. But at least we want to get there. And so I think that's rubbed off on some of the younger players, and they're hungry.
You look at the Eastern Conference, we were talking about the top 3 could go in any order, but I think getting that top seed is really valuable because right now the 4 or 5 teams are the New York Knicks and the Atlanta Hawks. So if you're 1, your second round opponent is going to be a team with no real playoff experience in the last 10 years, really. A chance for that team with the top seed in the East maybe to kind of waltz into the conference finals.
Well, I tell you what, I would not, underestimate the Knicks or the Hawks. Because the Knicks, first of all, Tom Thibodeau has done a masterful job of that team and got that team playing tough. Derrick Rose is having a a comeback, player of the year award type of year. And really he's been back for the last 3 or 4 years. So it's really not a comeback player. And you got Julius Randle, who's playing at a high level. They play defense. They compete. They're hard-nosed, team. Atlanta is the wild card because the way they shoot the basketball. They got perimeter players that can actually shoot the ball. And you got Lou Williams now. It looks like Lou Williams, the sixth man of the year. Lou Williams, it's almost like it was a change of scenery that got him rejuvenated and being, I think he's from
wings
Georgia.
anytime he wants.
I think he's from Georgia, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. So he's kind of at home. And then you got, they're winning without Trae Young. I think they're 5-2, without Trae Young. And, they're playing, that Bogdanovich is playing at all-star level too. So, and Clint Capella, 25 points, 15 rebounds, and John Collins. They're a scary team because you know what? They don't have nothing to fear anybody because they're not supposed to be there. We're not supposed to beat certain teams. And I think they'll go in there with the mindset like, let's just have fun, turn it loose, and let's go.
John was saying that, Nick's Randall, he's on the road finding gyms to work out at. With the team taken after Kobe.
Well, his numbers, he's going to be the most improved player in the NBA this year because his numbers have gone up. I think he went from a 29% 3-point shooter to about 41%. That's a big jump for a guy who's been in the league for like 7 years.
He's putting in the work.
Well, he's a kid that if you remember him in high school, he was the number one high school player in the nation. And, people, once he got to college, they kind of lost him a little bit, and he came to the league and he had to, his first year was kind of struggle. He got hurt in Los Angeles. So just started really, hanging around Kobe. And the story is that, when they're on the road, Kobe's always shooting at 10 o'clock at night, 11 o'clock at night. And Kobe would be coming in when they're all getting ready to go out, and they'd be like, well, where are you going? Where'd you come from?
He's not going to the club.
Yeah, he's not going to the club. So he's working out, he's shooting, he's in the gym, he did it in every city. So Julius Randle's like, man, this is why Kobe's killing everybody. This is why he's so good, and you start following that guy. That's what young players are supposed to do. You're supposed to find out how the vets do everything. And what better mentor than Kobe Bryant, sure. and Kobe Bryant started taking him with him. And then all of a sudden now he's learned how to do it. And now he's doing it in New York and guys are buying in. But the big thing is they're buying into Thibodeau, and Thibodeau knows what he's doing. There's a reason why Derrick Rose is there, and there's a reason why Taj Gibson is there. Those two guys alone are still playing at a high level, and they can tell these other guys when Tibbs gets on that they feel like the coach doesn't like him mode, they can say, no, Tibbs loves you. He just needs you to play harder. He needs you to come out here focused and to do the things that we need you to win. And that's been one of the reasons why they're winning.
It sounds like Chris Paul.
Did you save the company, or is that?
I'm multitasking.
Do you still have a job?
Yeah, exactly. Sounds like you still got a job.
But I just had to get in there because I've been saying this for weeks and we don't talk about it enough. Everybody talks about LeBron. Chris Paul, what he's done in Phoenix is incredible. He should get MVP considerations. Last night he had 20. Talk about a mentor, a closer. Yeah. He's probably one of the best closers in the league.
He's helped those young guys. He stabilized the whole team.
He coaches on the floor. I just can't say enough about what that guy going to Oklahoma. We talked about that, buying into that, changing the way he's habits. Because remember, they could have beat Golden State, in my opinion, a couple of years ago if he doesn't get hurt in game 6.
Yeah,
and he couldn't play enough. Now he's playing a lot of games and a lot of minutes.
Yeah, because Phoenix is a lot like the Bulls. They had high draft picks that weren't developing the way the organization had hoped. They bring in a Chris Paul. All of a sudden, it's all clicked.
Well, and you also got to remember they brought in Monty Williams, and that's a huge stabilizer in that organization because they've been all over the place the last 5 or 6 years. These young players, as you said, Mark, have not been able to develop. They've just been out there just playing, and then at the end of the year, 1, 2, 3, Cancun, type situation, you know. And now you bring in a veteran point guard, and you saw what he did in Oklahoma City the year before. Oklahoma City wasn't even favored to even be in the playoffs, and not even be in the playoffs at all. They were 4th seed last year. Look where they're at now. Chris Paul's still on that team. They're probably, still playing in the playoffs. So that to have a veteran point guard like that can stabilize your team, and a coach also that reinforces stabilization. You're going to have this turnaround, and you got to remember they were the hottest team in the bubble last year. So they got some experience last year of being in a win every game situation, and they got a taste to feel it, and they got around seeing how LeBron and all these other guys, when you're in that bubble, you are confined, and you see all these great players walking around all the time where you normally don't see them. You see LeBron James walking around on campus, where he's in the weight room, and they're doing how they prepare, how they eat, how they do things. And you're like, wow, okay, this is how he does it. So that bubble was probably the best thing for them, the best thing for Utah Jazz. And it's evident with the way they're playing this year.
Yeah, they're the number 2 seed in the Western Conference right behind the Utah Jazz, but I don't think everybody's looking in the rearview mirror at the Los Angeles Lakers. Anthony Davis is back. He had a good game against Orlando on Monday night as they got a win on the road. LeBron is going to be back soon. They're still the team to beat in the West, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. I mean, they're with Andre Drummond there too. They're the team to beat. And I think, the fear, the objects in your rearview mirror are closer than they appear type thing. And that's what it is. Everybody's like, oh, the Lakers are slipping because, those guys were out. Well, what it did was it gave all their role players an opportunity to step up and get better, regardless if they won the game or not,
right.
But to have confidence in their own abilities that they can step up when needed to make big plays or make big shots. So now you're getting these guys back, and those guys have confidence and they're ready to go.
Looks like this is going to be the second year in a row we're not going to see Zion Williamson and the Pelicans in the postseason. I think they're about 4 games back of the last play-in spot. But Zion is the first player since Michael Jordan to score 2,000 points in 80 games. And every time I watch the Pelicans, you just think this guy is a more athletic Charles Barkley. I mean, he is an incredible player, and I think he's going to be the face of the franchise or face of the league, in a couple of years.
Well, the league is in great hands. When LeBron James decides to step down, there's so many young stars. You got, Ja Morant in Memphis, Luka Doncic in Dallas, Zion in New Orleans. I mean, there's a ton of good young players, Trae Young.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Devin Booker.
Yeah, Devin Booker. I mean, there's so many good young players, but the old school guys are still there, though.
Yeah,
the old heads
got to get through them to win a title.
You got to get through LeBron James to win a title, and Anthony Davis. So, I think the big thing is Anthony Davis. I'm not worried about LeBron. LeBron is like, he's like Optimus Prime. He's just indestructible. Mm-hmm. But it's Anthony Davis you really worry about, because he's had injury problems when he was in New Orleans. He missed tons of games. And now you're starting to see him miss games with the Lakers the first 2 years he's been there. And now he's got that calf, Achilles type situation. Yeah. The same thing that we saw with, Kevin Durant a couple of seasons ago, that makes you kind of worry about, okay, is he going to be able to play in a playoff series, a grueling playoff series, without having to go through any injury?
Well, we're going to try to find out what happened to Stinger. He's mysteriously disappeared if you're watching the feed on YouTube. Got called in by the company. As we go to break, just want to mention, we talked a lot about Steph Curry in recent weeks. He set the NBA record for most three-pointers in a month. He has been amazing, averaging about 38 points a game. But it's baseball in the on-deck circle. We'll visit with Houston Astros star shortstop Carlos Correa when episode 26 of Give Me the Hot Sauce rolls on.
Give me the hot sauce.
It is time to talk some baseball, and we are lucky enough to welcome in the star shortstop for the Houston Astros, Carlos Correa, who's going to join us to talk about some UFC. He and Stacey are both big fans of UFC, and we're also going to start out with getting an update on what's going on during the first month of the Major League Baseball season. And Carlos, I was watching the game the other day. You hit one up on the train tracks. What's it like playing in that environment at Minute Maid?
It's great. It's great. To have the fans back, it's amazing. Last year we went through a 60-game season where we had no fans in the stands. It felt kind of empty. It felt more like a spring training game. But now that we get the fans back, we get that. We get the yelling, we get the roar of the fans, and I love it. I love it. I love every single second of it.
Yeah. Speaking of last year with the 60 games, I know how it was for the NBA players. Just the energy that the fans bring every single night. Get you going. And it must have been hard for the NBA players. I know it had to be double hard for you guys, especially in a 9-inning game, sitting out there with no one yelling, not even cursing at you.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Because, in the NBA game, there's constantly something going on. There's dunks, there's 3 points. There's somebody getting crossover. In baseball, you can go 9 innings and nobody has scored a run. Nobody's hit a home run. Nobody has made a great play. So, games can be slow at times. And when you have no fans in the stands, man, it can get a lot slower. So last year was tough for us, getting used to the new COVID protocols and, having to wear a mask everywhere in the clubhouse, in the gym. But now we're used to it. We went through it last year, and now having the fans back, man, there's a reason to wake up every single day and drive up to the field.
Carlos, how are you feeling about your ball club right now? You're at 11-11 as we record this on Tuesday, and Oakland has gotten off to a nice start, winning 13 games in a row. That division is going to be awfully tough. How do you like the Astros' chances this year?
I love our chances. Good for us. It's a 162 game season this year, a 60 game season. So, there's a lot of baseball still left to play. We started very good. Then, 5 of our main guys were out because of COVID and contact tracing. So during that stretch, we lost a couple games. We didn't have our whole team, but now we're back and we're playing great baseball. The last 5 games, they've been amazing. So, looking forward to getting hot during this stretch right now and go out there and finish April strong.
When you look at, I saw the other day, that Trevor Bauer, they were talking about the, pitchers beaning guys after they hit a home run. And he stood up and said, hey, look, you know what? I'll bring my best. You bring your best. And if you beat me, so be it.
Go ahead and celebrate.
Celebrate.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that? Because I've never been a big fan of pitchers beating guys because they hit a home run. I don't think I could play baseball because I think I'd have been charging the mound every time somebody hit me. I ain't going to lie. You hit me with a wiffle ball, I'm coming at you.
Oh, boy.
With a 2-piece.
No, absolutely. I love the way the game is trending right now. That old school mentality of, if you celebrate too much, I'm going to hit you and all that needs to go out the window. Baseball is a sport that's supposed to be fun. And if we want more fans to go out there and watch the game, the players got to show their personalities and they got to show emotions. And hitting a home run is one of the hardest things to do in sports. And, once you hit one of a great picture, you got to celebrate it. And, I like the fact that he celebrates every single, strikeout and he does his antics and whatever. But then when he gives a home run, he doesn't get mad either. He lets you celebrate. He lets you have your fun. And I like the way that baseball is trending. All these young guys coming in with a lot of passion, with a lot of energy. I think that's going to bring a lot of fans back into the sport.
Take me through your mental approach, because you're just talking about players pitching inside. But, for you, I mean, for us sitting here on the outside going, oh, my God, I saw Robinson get hit from the Brewers the other night. What's it like for you? Because they're trying to take part of that plate back. So, they have that outside corner. What's your focus? Are you looking for location? Are you looking for a particular pitch from a pitcher? Just take us through that process.
Yeah, I'm looking location. I'm looking for a pitch down the middle that I can swing at. It doesn't matter if it's a fastball, slider, changeup. If it's down the middle, I'm going to swing at it. I'm going to try to do damage with it. In this baseball, it's not the same like it was 5 years ago when I broke into a league where 2-0 counts, 3-1 counts, 3-0 counts. It was an automatic fastball. Now it's not like that. Now in 2-0 counts, you don't get fastballs anymore. 3-1 counts, you don't get fastballs anymore. So, if you're only looking for fastballs down the middle, it's going to be hard because in this sport, pitchers are adjusting every single day and they got great breaking ball stuff. So when they hang it, it don't matter if it's 0-0, 2-0, 3-1, you got to make them pay for it.
Carlos, you mentioned the return of the fans, and last year, of course, it was very quiet in all the baseball stadiums. There was nobody around. You guys are all human beings. You have to deal with all kinds of stuff in your lives. How tough has it been for you personally to deal with all the negative fallout from the pitch tipping and all that type of stuff that happened? Has it been hard to deal with the fan criticism as you go from city to city?
No, obviously, you feel bad for what happened all the way back in 2017. But what people are saying, the ballparks and all that, it doesn't affect me at all. The way my dad raised me was that you gotta care about your families, your inner circle, your friends' opinion. Because if we care about what people say on Twitter and Instagram at the ballpark, we'll never be happy with the lives that we live. You can never please everybody, and you're gonna make errors. You're gonna go out there, you're gonna strike out, and if you focus too much on what people say on social media or people say when you're on the field, then you will never be able to be happy with yourself. So in order for us players, in our team, to be happy and to move on, we got to have each other's back and keep moving forward. Obviously, we feel bad about what happened back then. It will never happen again. And now we move forward with a clean slate, try to do the things the right way.
When you look at this new breed of shortstops, which you're included in that, guys that are bigger, that can cover a lot of ground, strong arms, and big time bats. Do you guys like Lindor, Tatis? I know you guys are all friends. You guys play with each other in the off season. You know each other. Do you guys push each other to challenge each other? Because everybody wants to be the best. Everybody wants to be the best at their position. It's no different in any other sport. So, do you guys push each other to be the best?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Every single day, and even the off season, I talk to my Puerto Rican fellas, Lindor and Baez, and every single day we try to go out there and be the best. And it's a friendly competition. You know what I mean? Because it's not that type of competition that you're wishing bad on the other person. You want them to do great, but if you want to be better, you gotta do even greater. So that makes you an even better player when you got those great guys playing at a high level like they are every single day. So it's always fun, man. I keep up with them. I watch them. I love watching them play. And, you always try to pick up some things from them because, there's a lot of great shortstops out there. If you can pick one or two things from each other, then you keep getting better.
Like that contract with Lindor got. I want to pick that up.
that was
or
a nice
Tatis.
That was a nice one.
Or
that was
Tatis.
a nice one.
Yeah.
Yeah, you mentioned you get a chance to talk to Javy Baez a lot. It looked like they were closing in on a long-term contract before the pandemic hit, and then everything got pushed back to this year. They weren't able to reach an agreement during spring training. In talking to Javy, would he like to finish his career here in Chicago?
Yeah, he loves it there. And I'm sure, the fans in Chicago are great. I haven't had the opportunity to play there. While I'm in the big leagues, I've had some workouts there when I was going into the draft. But the fans seem like they know the game so much and they love the game. I was in Chicago for a Kanye West concert when the Cubs were in the World Series, and the city was going crazy for the Cubs, and I've never seen anything like that. So obviously he wants to stay there, but at the same time it's a business. So
right.
We all understand how it works.
I know one
Javier
person.
He was my baseball.
Southside
my
loves
baseball
Javier.
crush for more than a couple of years. I love watching him play. He's amazing.
So Houston has always, been in the forefront as far as the athletes and what they do off the field. You guys, J.J. Watt, James Harden, all these guys and yourself, you helped out there in the hurricane when the city needed it. You guys have always been there for the city of Houston. And now you're starting to look at this now, and all those guys are gone. Like all those guys who were in the forefront of, of help rebuild that city are no longer there. They're gone to, different places now. And you're like the last one. Like you're one of the last ones there. So when you look at that, does that cross your mind? Like, hey, I might not be here, in the future myself.
Yeah, you never know. And you don't want to close the doors here. I was in Houston. We have a great owner here in Jim Crane, and he's always been great to me. But like I said before, it's a business. We know how it works. They're trying to do what's best for them. I'm trying to do what's best for me. But yeah, man, with all those guys gone, obviously the city of Houston needs leaders out there in the community that can go out there and help. And yesterday I was honored here in Houston with the Sports Award. For all the work that the Sportsmanship Award, for all the work that we do off the field here with our foundation. We work with kids with cancer, and we go visit them at the hospitals when they're going through tough times, and the kids that are not with us anymore, we help their families with everything that you need to pay for after that happens. And then we shifted our focus a little bit also during the pandemic. We sent a lot of supplies, millions of dollars of supplies to Puerto Rico, to hospitals in Puerto Rico. We send a lot of supplies here in Houston also. So, we're always involved in the community, and we want to help people out because we know, especially here in Houston, there's a lot of people that need help, especially during the pandemic. The pandemic hit a lot of people hard, and, it hit me hard, it hit my family hard. So, I know there's a lot of people out there that have it a lot worse. So our foundation is always going to be there for them.
Speaking of Puerto Rico, your story is like out of the natural. Your humble beginnings of playing and going around and playing for all these different organizations. It's like you almost like a rental player. And we had Danny Manning on, former NBA player, talking about how difficult it is to get the players to practice and think that everybody's going to go to the NBA. And I look at your story and how much baseball you played, and how hard it is. People maybe don't understand what the work goes in for where you came from, and all the guys that have kind of followed before you, now after you, to come and play at MLB at such a high level. It's just a remarkable story.
No, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, my dad, when I was 5, we went to the ballpark for the first time, and he saw that I had talent for the game, and ever since I was 5, I've been at the ballpark every single day of my life. When I was in 8th grade, I told him, Dad, I want to learn English because I want to be able to speak for myself when I get to the big leagues. So he got an extra job. He used to work in construction, so he would work from 4 a.m. to like 8 p.m. So he will be able to pay for that bilingual school that I wanted to go to because I wanted to learn English for when I got to the big leagues. I was 8 years old at the time. My dad took me serious, and we kept working towards our goal, and now here we are, brother. And all the sacrifice, all the hard work. I will never forget where I come from. I will never forget my people from Puerto Rico, and that's why, through our foundation and everything we do, we always shift our focus not only here in Houston but also back home in Puerto Rico.
Hey, one more baseball question before I know Stacey wants to talk UFC. This was such a great card the other night. One of your former World Series teammates, Dallas Keuchel, is pitching here on the south side of Chicago. He helped the White Sox get to the postseason last year. He has been outstanding in a White Sox uniform. You got any favorite Dallas Keuchel stories, or maybe what he brought to your organization as a teammate?
Well, I gotta say, maybe some of my teammates would get mad, but Dallas Keuchel has been the best pitcher I ever played behind.
Wow.
Why? I played behind him in 2015 when he won that Cy Young, and it was special to watch because, one, he's a sinker baller with a changeup and a cutter, so that means a lot of ground balls to shortstop. And I was active every single game. I was getting 8 ground balls a day, and before a pitch, he would point at me like it's coming to you, and he would throw the pitch, and the ball would come to me. So I was always ready, man. He's such a veteran of the game. He knows what he's good at, and he knows how to pitch. And he might not throw 98 to 100 like pitchers throw nowadays, but, man, he knows how to pitch. He knows how to locate. And I just love him. He's a really good friend of mine. We stay in contact through it all. And, he's definitely up there, one of my favorites to play behind.
White Sox are dangerous, aren't they, this year?
They are. They got a great team, man. When you look at their roster, on paper, they look like they're going to be dangerous. So, we'll see. They'll put it together this year for sure.
All right, Stace.
Yeah, we're going to switch. We're switching speeds to UFC. Okay,
here we are. Where we came from.
Yeah. See, I saw sporting the Dagestan shirt right there, so I knew what it was. So you guys here might not know what Dagestan. That's where Khabib is from. One of the greatest of all time. I consider the greatest of all time. And John Jones is right there too. I like John Jones, my guy. I like him too. But this weekend's card, I have to admit, I walked away saying that was the best UFC card I've seen in a long time. I've seen individual fights and you go, wow, that was a great fight. But every single fight that was on that card this weekend was lights out. And then the fans being back in the arena, 15,000 people, the energy. I mean, you could feel that when I was feeling on my couch. I wanted to get in there and fight somebody. I might have lost, but I wanted to get in there and throw a 2-piece on somebody.
Yeah, the fans being back was definitely the cherry on top, brother. I mean, it's been a while and we definitely missed it. But the card, man, the main card was crazy. He had a little bit of everything. He had some nasty knockouts, some gruesome injuries. I mean, it had it all, man. And, when you look at that main event and, thinking about it right before the fight, I was like, Usman's going to win easy. Because, we all know there's levels to MMA.
Yes.
And Usman's level right now, he's on a different stratosphere. But I never thought he would finish Masvidal on the feet. I thought he would do the same and try to grapple, take him down, just neutralize him, maybe not dominate him, but at least neutralize him. But man, he stood up there with him, and he had that little hand grab to the right down the pipe. That was insane. And then my girl Thug Rose, that we love in this house, my wife doesn't watch MMA, but when Thug Rose is fighting, she's tuning in and she's watching.
How could you not cheer for Thug Rose? How could you not cheer for Thug Rose? Like she's the most. She is the most like one of the best fighters to cheer for because she's so honest. She's just like fun to watch, and she's so emotional when the fight's over. Like she's breaking down in tears, and because she wanted that so bad. Because remember the last time she lost her title when she got slammed by Andrade, and I thought she broke her neck, and most people would have quit after that, but she came back, man, and. I'm going to be honest, and I love Thug Rose too. I know your wife loves Thug. I didn't think Thug Rose was going to beat I didn't think she's going to beat her. I didn't think, because that girl is tough.
Yeah, Wei Lee's tough, but I had Thug Rose beating her, one, because she's way longer, and two, because she trains with Trevor Whitman. And if you're going to beat a Trevor Whitman fighter, it's got to be on the grappling department. It's really hard to beat a guy that trains with Trevor Whitman, which for me is the best striking coach in all of MMA by a mile. And Thug Rose has been working with him for years. So I didn't see Wei Lee beating her on the stand-up, but I didn't see Thug Rose sleeping her in the first round like she did. That was beautiful.
With the kick to the head. Beautiful.
Yeah, she looked down to the feet, and I guess Wei Lee was looking at the eyes. And one thing they teach you when you're fighting is you never look at the eyes, you look at the chest, because the eyes, they lie to you. So Thug Rose looked down like she was going for a leg kick and then picked it up, and Wei Lee was following the eyes. She fell for it, man. It was a tough one for her.
I'm gonna tell you, man. I mean, I was so hyped on that card when it was over. I had to rewatch it the next day because I was like, I couldn't believe what I saw. And the Masvidal fight, I just like you, I thought it was going to be Usman going to win because he was just going to grapple him and then, like you said, neutralize him. I didn't expect him to stand up. When I saw that training segment with Trevor Whitman and Gaethje and all those guys, you could tell he's been working on his striking game. Because now you got to look at it, Carlos, like how you beat him now. You can't beat him on the ground because he got Khabib type wrestling, and now he strikes. Yeah. How do you beat this guy now?
Yeah, so when you look at Usman, his background obviously is wrestling, and he's really good at that. He's dominated that, and a lot of people, I would say the casuals would call him boring because he would grapple a lot and he would neutralize the opponents. But then when he was going to fight Gilbert Burns, he left his gym because they were both training partners. So he said, "Okay, you can stay. I'm going to leave." And he called Trevor Whitman and said, "Hey, Trevor, I need to get better on my striking. I know you're the best. Can you make room for me?" Because Trevor Whitman only works with Gaethje and Rose. Yep. Only two. He says he doesn't want to work with a lot of people. He wants to focus on his two fighters and make them the best in the world. So he accepted Usman. He said, "Okay, you can come." So Usman fought Masvidal, but he used his grappling. Then when he fought Gilbert Burns, he didn't use his grappling at all. He knocked him out on the feet. Yep. And that's when we started seeing, wow, like Trevor Whitman has made this guy so much better. That jab is popping. That right hand is following. He's setting traps now. He's not predictable with his striking. It's great. And you saw with Masvidal on that last fight, he was popping the jab to the body, the jab to the face. He was throwing some hooks. When he saw that Masvidal was checking all the time with that hook, he was trying to come around every time Usman was jabbing. He went around, and when Masvidal was going to counter him with the hook, he went straight with the right hand right before Masvidal landed that hook.
And he pulled the hand down.
Head body.
He pulled the hand. He pulled the lead hand. He was parring the punch, and he pulled his hand down and hit him right down the pike with a right straight down the middle, man. It was out. You see all the sweat going all over the place? Oh, it was awesome.
This is great analysis, and it just confirms what I've been hearing about Dana White in the UFC. They had 15,000 people. It was explosive. People are ready to get out there and go to these events. They're selling out in Vegas, in Houston, and you guys are just talking about pure sport here. And this is great because I think there's so many distractions. And I'm not a huge fan, but I'm a fan of listening to you guys break it down because I love the competition. So,
dude, I'm telling you, I've been a fan.
To Dana White.
I've been a fan.
Guess who's going to the Houston card?
Hey, Carlos, I've been a fan since Hoyce Gracie.
I talked to Sack and I said, "Sack, I need you to take the ball that day. May 15th, I need you to be on the mound." Because Sack scores super fast.
Oh, yeah.
He throws strikes. When Sack keeps pitching, it's going to be a quick game. I was like, "Sack, I need you to take the ball that day for your boy." He said, I'll try.
Hey, now you being in Houston, do you see Derek Lewis?
Yeah, so actually I train at the same gym that he trains here in Houston. So in the offseason, I was training there with Coach Bob, and he trains Derek Lewis. So I got to see him a couple of times, and he looked great. So with that, before that Curtis Blades fight, I was talking to his coach, and he said, "We've been working so hard, he's gonna knock them out." And I was like, "I believe it." So I bet on Lewis to win, and I made some money there because they called it. They were working knees through the middle, uppercuts through the middle to defend the takedown, and man, he landed that one and put him to sleep.
It's crazy because we had Curtis Blades on the show.
Yes, we did.
After that fight.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Wow. So he said, he had talked about that fight because before that fight, he was on a win streak. He was supposed to be, in line for the title. And then, Derek Lewis put it on him. And, You know, I think the biggest thing I'm aware about Derek Lewis, like he's a hell of a fighter. He's got like I think the most knockouts I think in the UFC. But when they interviewed him that one time, when that one fight he had, and Joe Rogan was interviewing, he's like, my balls are hot, and I was like, yeah, he said that. He was like, what? He goes, Joe Rogan's like, hey, you just had a huge knockout, Derek Lewis. You know, what are you going to do right now? He's like, I don't know, man. My balls are hot. I'm like, wow, this is UFC baby at its best. I like
That's
it.
what I'm talking about.
That's how he got the title shot.
Yes.
So he was a good fighter, obviously, but he had a solid following, not that many. And then when he said that, it went viral. And Joe Rogan said, follow Derek Lewis on Instagram. He's got the funniest page I've ever seen on Instagram. He went from like 50,000 followers to like 1 million followers overnight.
Wow.
And then somebody got hurt and he got the next title shot because he was so popular in the community that if you give him the fight, you're going to sell pay-per-view. So they gave him the fight against Daniel Cormier.
Oh, my goodness. So,
Timmy, I know Timmy would have
so
something
what
to
do
say.
let me ask you a question. So what do you think about Jake Paul and some of the stuff that they're doing, the amateur boxing? You know, I saw he got in with DC at the fight. You know, DC went up and confronted about all the stuff that he was talking. And that got heated.
First, yeah, he got heated. But I got to say, I've been watching boxing ever since, I was 5 years old. I watched Felix Tito Trinidad going all the way. And every Saturday, I get on my couch and I watch boxing. I watch MMA. I watch every fight. And the truth is that boxing is a dying sport right now. MMA is taking over. Yeah. Boxing is not doing it right. The reason why is because you got 4 or 5 belts per division. Everybody's a champion. The best are not fighting the best right now. In the UFC, there's only 1 belt per division. There's a ranking system, and the best got to fight the best. The champs got to fight the number 1 contender every single time. In boxing, that's not the case. So what Jake Paul is doing, I got to give it to him, man. He's making money. He's selling pay-per-views. He's bringing attention to the sport. He's got everybody talking about him. He's got MMA fighters calling him out. So he's doing something right. He might not be the best boxer in the world, but he can throw some hands. And people say, oh, you knocked out Ben Askren. He's like the worst MMA fighter to ever be in the UFC. Jake Paul is the worst boxer in the professional boxing roster. Yeah. So what's the difference? He's the worst boxer fighting the worst MMA guy, and he knocked him out. So, he's getting some respect out there. I think he can throw some hands, and he's a professional troll, brother. He knows how to market himself. That's how he's made his fortune. So, keep doing you, Jake.
Yeah, do what you do.
Hey, Carlos, are you any chance you'll ever get back in the ring?
I would love to. Maybe after baseball. During baseball, no.
Yeah.
So maybe after baseball, I would love to. It's my passion. The fight game is my passion. So,
King can be your promoter.
Fun.
Yeah. No, I'm getting in the ring. I want to fight a celebrity. I'm going to fight celebrity fights. That's what I want to do. Somebody got no training, and we just get in the ring.
Dude, you're like Thunderlips. You're like 6'8".
I don't care, man. It'd be fun.
Who's gonna fight you at 6'8"?
Like you fight like Shaq. You fight dudes that don't know how to. Yeah, hey.
You're gonna fight Shaq now.
Los. Hey, don't sleep on the hands. Don't sleep on the hands, Los. Okay. Don't sleep on the hands. Okay. And I'm learning some kicks too. I'm going for the calf. I'm kicking in the calf. That's all I'm doing. I'm kicking you in the calf.
Happened to white man.
Los. I'm telling you, I'm kicking you in the calf.
You got to get the aerobic training going first.
And listen, you know what? Your comments didn't go on another.
The aerobic training,
listen,
right, Carlos?
It don't matter about all that, man.
Oh, it doesn't?
If I can knock you out in the first
cardio?
Yeah, cardio. It's pretty decent.
This is your cardio.
It's pretty decent, Carlos.
I don't want to see you like Connor after 8 minutes.
Hey, I ain't gonna lie, Los. We might have to cut the rounds in half instead of a 2-minute round. It might be a 50-second round, baby. I'll be good for 50 seconds, but if we go past 50, I'm in trouble, baby. I might tap out, but you didn't even hit me. I might just tap out on the floor. It's over, man. I can't go past 50, brother. Oh man, I'm glad to see that you're a UFC fan. I was really anxious to talk to you about that, man. I see you a diehard fan. That's awesome because I'm a diehard fan too. And like I said, I've been watching it since Hoist Gracie, back when it used to be like a tough man contest when you had to win 6 fights to get the money. That's when it was really
the submission hold that he had.
He was choking people out with the gi.
That was tough.
He was choking people out with his gi. That's what I like to do. Choke somebody out with my jacket. Just put it around your throat and just choke you out. I think that'd be cool. So you train now.
Back when people were kicking people in the face on the ground.
Oh yeah.
Exactly.
Kneeing the people in the back of the head.
Well, it was outlawed in 49 states. Remember, it started in Denver.
Yeah, that's right.
Headbutts.
Oh my God.
Everything.
Here's a fight for you. What do you think John Jones does against Francis Ngannou?
Yeah, that's a tough fight, man. That's a tough fight because John Jones, he's been fighting at 205. Apparently, he was not motivated. That's why his performances haven't been as dominant. But now he'll be motivated against a guy like Ngannou. But John Jones has been getting clipped by the likes of Thiago Santos, who's been on a bit of a losing skid. He's been getting hit by the likes of Dominic Reyes, who just got blacked by Jan Blachowicz.
Yeah.
So with Ngannou, all it takes is one, man. If you're getting hit by these guys that are not on Ngannou's level, I don't see you going out there and dominating Ngannou. And if he's gonna take down Ngannou, he's not gonna take down a guy that's way heavier than him, that's been fighting at the heavyweight division for years now, and that can actually defend a takedown now. Because Stipe tried and he couldn't take him down. It was perfect technique to defend that takedown. So I see John Jones having a tough time. But if they were both fighting at 205, Ngannou was the same size as him, I'll pick John Jones. But John Jones going up to fight a guy that's gonna be 280 on fight night, that's gonna be a tough one, brother.
I'm gonna give him a puncher's chance. Only reason why, because he's so skilled with the way he attacks people. He's got a longer reach than Ngannou anyway. I mean, he's got a super long reach. He's one of the few guys that utilizes elbow strikes. And if he can get in and the kicks and all that stuff, if he can get in there and get some, keep him off balance, keep Ngannou off balance a little bit, he's got a shot. But if he gets clipped, woo, it's lights out.
He's got 25 minutes of trying to avoid that hammer.
Yeah, run, John, run.
With that guy as explosive as Ngannou,
yeah,
that's gonna be tough. But hey, it's a fight we all want. So,
I want it.
Uncle Dana,
make it happen. Make it happen.
Please make it happen.
Well, Carlos, Stacey could talk all afternoon about UFC, but I know you got a ball game tonight. The Houston Astros hosting the Seattle Mariners. We wish you the best of luck the rest of the season. And if things don't work out in Houston, come on and play on
come to Chicago, baby.
Chicago and play
come
for
to
us.
Chicago,
Okay?
baby.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Thank you guys. Thank you guys so much for having me. It was fun. Thank you guys.
Appreciate it, brother.
That is the great Carlos Correa,
Thank
the
you.
all-star shortstop for the Houston Astros on Gimme the Hot Sauce. Coming up next, we take it off the wall.
Give me the hot sauce.
Wow, how great was Carlos Correa? And you know what? If we wouldn't have cut him loose, he'd have been late for batting practice. He'd missed team meetings. And he'd say, where's Carlos?
Yeah.
He's talking UFC with Stacey King in Chicago.
Yeah, that was a great interview. Great interview.
He was fantastic.
Shout out to Carlos.
Yeah, we wish him and the Astros well. We want to thank our great sponsors at Bubble Up. It's the cloud reimagined. Bubble Up is the new way to visually organize any kind of content all in one place. We thank them for their support. We're sporting our Give Me the Hot Sauce shirts. John and I, you can buy those somehow. Is Whispers in charge of that, Stacey?
Oh, well, also.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, we got the hot sauce?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay, bring it over here. Right over here. Show him, John. Okay, can we can't
Personally
see it.
endorsed by Stacey King.
Yeah.
How many
There
did
he
you
is.
sell? Do we have any left? There's only 3 left,
I think
right?
we only got 3 left, man. They're out there. Hey, listen, they're popular. They're popular. My fans, they love it. Wait till you taste it.
Yeah.
Wait till you taste it. You guys should taste that. You can't be endorsing something if you don't taste
Can
it.
I take
Right
one
now?
home?
Yeah, you can take one home.
Should I try right now?
Try it now.
No, it's hot. You know,
Yeah.
you don't have any water next to you, do you?
I got coffee.
Okay.
No, yeah,
I don't know.
It's good though. It's good. It's really good. Yeah.
I can't wait.
Yeah. Wait till you get home and tell me about
I'm
it.
going to open one up.
So we appreciate our great sponsors and all our loyal listeners and viewers. And of course, if you're watching us on YouTube, we would love to have you here. We're having a lot of fun. We're having more subscribers. Make sure to like and subscribe. We want to make sure we get the word out to join in on the party every week on Gimme the Hot Sauce as John tries to open that bottle now.
Yeah.
Now, John, you came up with a topic that you were interested in for our
Passion.
off the wall segment.
Very passionate
because
about.
you are a big outdoors guy.
Well, no, I mean, I've had lawn service for time.
He has lawn service because he's not home in
Yeah,
the summer. He
to
covers
Brookfield. But
baseball.
last year during the pandemic, I was like, I needed something to do, so I bought a Toro.
Yeah.
It's a self-propelled lawnmower, and it's one of the greatest things ever. I'm into my lawn. I got my blade sharpened, and little shoot Rick Bruck, he's been mentoring me about different ways to cut diagonal. You don't want to cut the same way all the time. He said,
I have to listen to this all the
you
time.
don't want to cut it all the way down.
I'm listening to it now, and I'm like,
I'm like, cut the damn grass.
Wait a minute. This isn't about me, but how's the grass look?
Now it looks good. I was in Florida.
Plush.
I came home and
Plush.
it looks great.
But
He
it-
wouldn't cut it. He's
it
like,
got me
no, Rick
thinking-
said you can't cut it until it's like 2 feet long.
Got to wait till Mother's Day to cut the grass.
Tamara Anderson, her dad, who works with Stacey, a longtime associate.
Tamara's a good friend of ours.
Great friend.
She's awesome.
Friend of the program.
Her dad, for years, we've always joked because I always ask about Mr. Anderson, and he's cut his lawn. He's 80. She sent me a photo.
Yeah.
And it got me thinking, like, man, that's the key to some really good long health. And Susan's uncle, Bob Sitcher, is the same way, and he's 80. And so I put a photo of him in there too. It's 2 dudes from Chicago cutting their lawn, man, and having a great time. So I just wanted to ask you, Mark, how's your lawn looking?
It's looking great. My wife does a wonderful job.
Oh, there you go, Mark.
Is that really true? Your wife cuts your grass?
She loves doing it. She hates when I do it.
See?
I actually,
You screw it up.
That's my kind of woman.
When I stopped working full time,
My kind of woman.
I said, why don't you?
Edith, get me another beer.
Why don't you let me take a pass at the lawn? And all of a sudden, I'm in the front yard, going back and forth, and all of a sudden, someone comes running out and going, "The lines aren't straight. The lines aren't straight."
Wow.
We used to do that. You missed a spot, John.
Yeah.
Just
Oh,
like
just like he does when you do the driveway.
Yeah, it happens.
So you're finally carrying your weight now.
No, it looks good.
Yeah,
And
that's
Susan
really
went on
good.
strike. She said, I'm not doing the yard. I did the driveway. I'm not doing the yard now.
Yeah, well, she'll get out there and pick up sticks because that's just like you said, that's part of the deal. But yeah,
Sticks and dog shit.
it's
He'll go, hey, I'm going to cut the grass. Can you go pick up this shit?
yeah,
I'm
like someone's got to
What?
do that. I mean, if I'm going to keep straight lines, Mark, I've
It's a
got
two-person job, right?
Yeah.
Hey, got to carry your weight. So what you're saying is,
You still can't get that hot sauce open.
I
That's
can't.
it.
So-
you need a knife,
nail.
I guess.
I need a nail.
So what you're saying is that it's really good to be 80 years old out there finding something to do. Cutting your grass gives you some exercise.
It gives them something to look forward to. Most importantly, I think that's it. Like knowing that they have to cut that grass, like you said, every Saturday.
I
think that's important.
I ain't cut grass. I was like 15 years old. Okay, and when I get 80 years old, I'm not gonna be cutting grass. I could be thinking about some other stuff. Like sex. I think I can stay in shape doing that at 80 years old. I think that'd be a lot more fun, baby. I'm just being honest. I ain't cutting no grass. I'm not cutting no grass. I wake up with PTSD about cutting grass. My father was military. So every Saturday morning, all 4 boys had to get up. I mean, the only thing he was missing was a trumpet. He would come in there and everybody be asleep. It'd be like 6 o'clock in the morning. And it would be like, get up, everybody get up. Oh, let's go. We got work to do today. Let's go. So you got the front yard, you got the backyard, you got the weed eater. You're going to pick up the trash. I mean, everybody had a job to do. And depending on your age was your job. So the older kids had to cut the grass. And then me and my little brother, like I had to get the weed eater. And that was before the weed eater, you wore glasses. You didn't wear glasses. And it didn't have anything to stop the things from flying up in your face. So I'm sitting, pop, pop. I almost lost an eye every single time. That's another reason I don't mess with the weed eater. Yeah. No, let somebody
Those are
professional.
scary.
Let a professional do that. Okay.
Yeah.
But
How about a rake?
now, you know what, buddy? You know what? James King wasn't messing around. Everybody had a job to do. And as I got older, I probably cut hundreds of yards. 'Cause I used to make money doing cutting grass and cutting the neighbor's grass and stuff. Because my mom said if I want stuff at the store, when we go to the store, I say, Mom, buy me a Coke. You got any money?
Yeah.
Hey, Mom, can you buy me this pack of gum? You got any money? No. You have a job? No. I'm 6. Like, how am I supposed to have a job at 6 years old, Mom? Well, you got to go out and work. Got to go do something.
It sounds
go
like
earn
you
some
say,
money.
is it Oklahoma? Are you an All-American?
Are you
Yeah, I'm just telling you. It's just
You make the Olympic team?
you know what though? But it's like in Oklahoma, people, you have to earn your living. You have to earn your keep. You're never too young to work.
Right.
And so,
Yeah.
like, I had to cut grass. Like,
Yeah.
man,
And look at how you turned out.
100-degree
did a good
temperature.
job.
100-degree temperature out there cutting grass, and it just was not my thing. I said, you know what? One of these days, I'm never gonna cut grass again.
I'm going to be a star player, and
just
somebody
not
else is
gonna
going
do
to
it.
cut my
Somebody
lawn.
else is gonna come along, and you know what? Somebody else is coming along. I'm sorry, America. I'm lazy. I ain't gonna lie.
You're honest,
I'm
though.
lazy. I'm honest. I'll run a vacuum cleaner though.
Oh my God, he's drinking.
Oh, he's drinking it.
no, drinking it straight.
Ooh, that's got a little kick to it. Yeah.
Give me the hot
Oh.
sauce. Give me the hot sauce.
Oh, he's drinking it like it's a shot.
I think he's going to disappear again.
It's pretty good, isn't
It's
it?
very good.
Yeah.
My
As he reaches
same
for the
uncle
coffee.
that cuts his grass that we're putting the photo in, when we got married, he took me aside and told me to, He goes, Susie, lay off the hot peppers. We like him because he cannot handle hot foods.
Oh,
I
well,
can't believe you just did that.
It's good. It's not. It's hot, but it's got a really nice flavor to it.
Yes.
Goes down smooth.
It does.
Yes.
Goes down. I could see this with a chip. This would
Yes. Oh,
be
yeah.
dynamite combination.
This was a nighttime show. You'd be making
I don't
Bloody
need it.
Marys with that.
Oh, quesadilla. Oh, I had it on the quesadilla,
yeah.
baby. Oh,
Yeah.
God, it was
Yeah.
good. Oh,
Now King does cook. He's in
Yes,
the
he
kitchen.
does.
I will do that. I will
Yeah.
do that. I had salmon teriyaki the other day with some rice. Okay, I will do that.
Yeah.
But I'm not cutting no grass.
Do you have a maid service?
Yeah.
You do? Okay, because we've been over and the place is immaculate.
Yes,
so
yes, I
he
do.
maybe does indoor stuff. I don't know.
Listen, the maid ain't there every day. She comes once a week. Okay? So there are times having two puppies that there's messes all over the place. You know, my just this morning, my two puppies, I have their toys in a box and it's up on the stoop. And now they're tall enough they can get up there and reach down and pull the box down, and they pull all the toys out and they play with every single toy. So I was like, I got to go to work, man. I ain't got time for this. I got to get to. I am not in the mood to be picking up. I am not in the mood to pick up toys right now. I got to go do podcasts. So I'm in here. I'm doing a podcast, and I left toys all on the living room floor.
Hey, speaking of doing a podcast, a big event coming up this week in the world of sports, the NFL draft coming up on Thursday. Time for some rapid fire. Stacey King playing general manager. We know the first two picks. Trevor Lawrence is going to go first to the Jacksonville Jaguars. And then it's going to be Zach Wilson from BYU, the quarterback, going to the New York Jets. Which means number 3 on the clock, the San Francisco 49ers. They traded up, I believe, from 12 to get up to 3, and everyone thought they were going to go after Alabama quarterback Mac Jones. But all of a sudden they decided, well, they got a month to wait. They're going to work out the other two quarterbacks, Trey Lance and Justin Fields. Which way you think the 49ers will go Thursday night, Stacey?
If they take Mac Jones, a huge mistake. Huge mistake. Because Mac Jones, I'm not saying Mac Jones is not a good quarterback.
Right.
Mac Jones was consistently rated in the bottom half of the draft, 23rd, 24th, 25th. All of a sudden, he's now the greatest quarterback,
Right.
after the first two guys. And how has that happened?
Because he looks like the before Tom Brady picture.
Yeah, but you know what? There's a lot of guys. You can go into Mariano's and find a guy that looks like Tom Brady, the before picture of Tom Brady.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You want to get a guy. You want to get a guy that can be the face of your franchise. That with the way the new quarterback system is, where you got to have mobility, you got to be able to move around the pocket. Justin Fields. I would take Justin Fields from Ohio State. That's just me. I mean, just watching his pro day, he clearly blew away Matt Jones. Okay. And the way he played for Ohio State this year, and he didn't have the weapons that Matt Jones has. He didn't have the professional offensive line, the professional wide receivers. You could have been back there, Mark, and looked great. You'd have been a top 5 pick playing for Alabama with that offensive line they had behind him, in front of him. So I'm not a big Mac Jones fan. Can he be the next Tom Brady? I don't think so, man. There's only one Tom Brady, man.
There's only one.
There's only
There's only one
Tom Brady.
TB12. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So if they make a switch and take Trey Lance, which is the other hot rumor going on, then Mac Jones could fall. We don't know where Justin Fields is going to go. There's a lot of speculation that Stinger's favorite team, the New England Patriots, are going to try to trade up to either 7 or 8 to get a quarterback. What are you seeing in your crystal ball there, Stinger?
Well, first of all, just have to remind San Francisco and Bill Walsh when they passed on the Brady 6. They took a guy from Hofstra. Remember, he looked like Tom Brady until he took a hit in the NFL, and that was about it.
What's his name?
So,
Was it?
Wasn't it Gino? I'm trying
Gino
to find.
something.
I'm trying to find it, but I remember they thought he was the second coming, and they had a guy like Tom Brady who went to the catch game, was an idolized Joe Montana. But I know we're not talking about Tom Brady, but the thing I bring it up is they haven't drafted a quarterback.
Always to talk about that.
in the,
Always.
in the
Always.
first
Rajon
round
Rondo was
since 1993 when they drafted Drew Bledsoe.
Yeah.
So it's intriguing for me. I'm all in the draft. I'm reading draft reports, and King is right. I mean, Mac Jones is 25 on the board, and Justin Fields is 8th. So I don't know what's going on, but
Just takes one GM to fall in love with a
but
guy.
I'm just so intrigued to see what
Look what happened to the Bears. They fell in love with Trubisky and let Watson and Mahomes go.
And I'm just, for me, there's Bill Belichick. They had kind of an iffy draft. They've had so many great drafts. Last couple of years, maybe not so much. So I'm just interested to see how this goes because I love Cam Newton. Everybody doesn't like. I think Cam Newton is as good as they're good. He can take them to the playoffs, but
Cam Newton is the bridge gap between your next quarterback.
Sure.
If that's the route that they go. Cam Newton is a gap filler until the next quarterback is ready to go. But speaking of the Jets, there's a reason why the Jets stink. Okay? They draft horribly.
Right.
Okay? In my opinion, I don't care what nobody says. Sam Darnold is a franchise quarterback, in my opinion. Okay? You don't have an offensive line to protect the kid. You give him no weapons to throw to, no running game. And a young quarterback, the one thing that's constant that they need to start their career is good offensive linemen and a running game. You give them a running game to take pressure off of them and have to throw third and long. Give the running back the ball that can get you 4 or 5 yards. Now you keep the third down short and he can make the plays, whatever. You look at Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow was injured last year because they had a crappy offensive line. Tore his ACL up. That kid got sacked so many times, but he shows you the ability to be a franchise-leading quarterback. He's shown you the ability he's going to be a stud. Now it's up to Cincinnati to go out there and start drafting the best offensive linemen and the weapons to put around this kid. And I think the Jets, giving up Sam Darnold, I think Carolina got a steal with Sam Darnold. There's rumors they're going to draft a quarterback too when it comes down to it. But why would you? You got a kid that's 23, 24 years old already. To have 2 quarterbacks on a rookie contract so you can say I have 2 quarterbacks on my rookie contract is just stupid. Draft need now. Go get you an offensive lineman to protect him or a wide receiver that can help him. Don't draft another quarterback because that's just a waste of pick if you ask me. But then again, I'm just sitting on the couch. Okay? I'm just a fan. Okay?
Well, you're ready to get in the ring and fight.
Yeah, I am.
Wait
a minute.
Well, that's what they said about Mel Kiper. Bill Tobin said that about Wayne Kiper years ago.
Yeah, because he drafted Trev Albert.
And he said that's why they're the Colts. That's why they're the Colts.
I'm saying the same thing.
Yeah.
I'm Stacey Kiper.
Yeah.
That's why they're the Jets.
Yeah, that's why they're the Jets.
That's why they're the Jets.
Yeah, and by the way, the guy, he was from Hofstra. Giovanni Carmarzo
or something. Yeah.
Giovanni.
Yeah.
The owner of the Patriots, Robert Kraft, tweaked Bill Belichick for not drafting that well in recent years, and that's why they spent so much money in free agency this year.
Don't try to blame it on Bill.
Once again, if you're finishing first, you draft last, and on top of it, you lose a lot of your free agents.
Yeah, but they've had like 100 picks in the last 3 years.
But 20 years of success, you're going to have some bad drafts. Do you want me to call up their drafts from recent years?
No. We don't want
Devin
that.
McCourty.
We definitely don't want that. We definitely.
All I'm going to say about that is it paid to have Tom Brady. Okay? It paid to have Tom Brady.
You didn't have to worry about that.
Because you didn't have to worry about anything. Tom Brady also deferred money so they could sign other people.
Like he's doing now.
Okay, Tom Brady wanted to win. He wants to win. He wanted to win more than anything. So he gave up money to get people. Okay. Yep. But at the same time, Mark, I feel what you're saying. They should have been preparing for life after Brady because they were caught off guard last year, life without Tom Brady.
Right.
And now you got Edelman retiring now. Who some people other than us think he's a Hall of Famer.
Terrell Davis.
We got Terrell Davis. Okay, of course Terrell Davis. Because Terrell Davis didn't play a full career either. But he did more in his career than Julian Edelman did in his career.
Here we go.
Yeah.
What we're not
We're not doing this again.
Terrell didn't say that.
No, Terrell didn't say that?
He said Julian Edelman deserves to be in the Pro Football Hall of Fame because of great moments.
America.
Hey, give me the rifles one more time.
Oh,
the rifles ready?
Thank you, Mark.
If you think Julian, America, and you listen to the show today, if you think that Julian Edelman deserves to be in the Hall of Fame, please contact us because I would like to know what the poll is of people.
You know how to get hold of King.
I want you to come on Instagram and go to the Give Me the Hot Sauce Instagram page, and I want you to put your comment saying, I think Julian Edelman should be a Hall of Famer.
Why don't you post that as well?
Okay, I'm gonna post that. I'm gonna post that. I'm gonna do a poll. I'm gonna find out what people think.
Let's find out.
I'm gonna do a Twitter poll.
Let's go to the streets.
Matter of fact, I'm doing one right now.
Do it to the streets.
Yeah, we are going to the streets because I want people. I want to hear what people have to say.
Please do.
Because unless they're all Boston fans,
Terrell Davis obviously is not a Boston fan, but
I'm not taking Terrell Davis.
Well, he's one guy that's.
Hey, coming up next, we're going to have our fan of the show segment. We got a special treat for you coming up.
Oh boy,
Mr. Troll Subin is going to join us. He is a professional gym owner, trainer. He's going to tell us some stories as we stay with our UFC theme on Gimme the Hot Sauce, episode 26. Keep it right here. We are back on Gimme the Hot Sauce. Time for one of our favorite segments. It's the fan of the show, also known as John Walsh. This is your life. Hey, man. John, I'm going to let you do the introduction, the guy that you knew from your days in California.
He's going to probably correct me when I do anything,
Absolutely, he will.
but all I can say is I've known this guy for almost 30 years.
Wow.
I met him down in Redondo. He was training with Howie Long. I was working for the Raiders. I've seen him, from that point build this incredible mecca on Hermosa Avenue called The Yard that myself and my brother-in-law Steve would go to. And it's meant a lot to me and my wife and all the baseball. We had a softball team together. We were at the Bartman game. He's a master motivator. He's a life coach. I see what he does with the young kids in that community down in the beach area.
It's quite an introduction.
Yeah, he's something else. But
He's
it's
quite a
funny.
guy.
All this, and I walk into his gym. I'll bring people like Darren Sutton's come with me, and I'll walk in and he'll just start undressing me. Like, he won't even say hello to me. And then he just starts ripping on me. And I think I got into it with who was the guy from SC, the big football player, but whatever.
Hey, John, Broadcasting 101, you have not said his name yet.
It's Troll Subin.
Oh, okay, good.
Thank
Thank you.
Thank you. I was wondering, are you going to introduce
You
him?
asked me to do the intro.
all right.
That's a John Walsh
So
intro.
anyways, Troll, you have the floor.
Hey, troll.
Thanks for having me, guys. And John, I'm not really sure what to say. That smorgasbord that just came out, but I feel like the segment's almost over. You told me I had 3 minutes. Don't offend Stacey. Make sure I'm prepared on current events. And then you went into the time machine right there. And I'm just going to say that you have an amazing wife. You married up, and your kids have been competing against their DNA their whole lives successfully.
Wow.
That's what I gotta say.
Stinger is speechless.
You had that one prepared, huh?
I'm not going to lie, Troll.
Well,
Hey, the kids, I try to say to the kids every time I see them, I try to, if they need help, just call me, because their parents, they kind of bully them around. John bullies them around, makes them eat burritos when they don't even like Mexican food. So I've decided to give them my phone number just in case they get in trouble. They can call me. I'll get them out safely.
I like that. That's a smart move right there. It's the Stacey King lifeline. 24/7 they can reach out to you, whether it's for dog training, nutrition, life coaching, how to combat their parents. Super kind of you. But being a man of the world, Stacey, I'm sure you appreciate the fact that everybody has to have an asshole in their life, and so I try to keep myself free and clear of the the Boston stronghold. And there's a few massholes like John Walsh that I constantly, my favorite teams are whoever the Celtics, the Patriots, and the Rocks play. And it's been an agonizing period of time where there's parades and championships. And so, that's why our relationship has lasted so long. But, I think that's starting to dissipate. So you have a few of those people. You really, you can't save them. You battle with them. And they're the most difficult, challenging, uneducated, distorted sports circle on the planet. As soon as I got onto the call, you
Didn't
guys
he
were
bruise
already
Santa
talking about
Claus
Edelman.
in
It's a done
Philadelphia?
deal. He's a nice guy, worked hard. Yeah. Santa Claus. That's
Yeah.
And he did, let's clarify, he did say masshole.
you're reaching.
Yeah, he loves that. That's his go-to.
John hates that.
It's
That used
clean.
to trigger him.
Well,
clean.
first of all, I'm
It's
from
clean.
Rhode Island. I'm
There
not
it
from
is.
Massachusetts,
There it
but know your geography for
You
Alex.
live in- So it's a region. Masshole is a term for a regional dysfunctional person.
Give it to him, Troll. Give it to him.
Stacey, let's.
I mean,
yeah, go ahead.
let's get to Stacey.
Well,
I don't want to hear about Dwight Evans and Carl Yastrzemski and all that stuff.
Now let's talk
I wanna
UFC.
say
Tom
that
Brady.
One of the reasons why
Stacey has a question for you about UFC. We were talking about the Gracie brothers.
No, give me the hot sauce. Give Me the Hot Sauce is such a great show because two things happen every episode, 100%. You're going to be entertained and you're going to learn something. If you listen to the show, that's what happens.
There you go.
There you go,
wow,
man.
yeah.
That's your
Clip
checks
that
in the
off. We
mail,
got a
bro.
promo.
You gotta put that in the mail. Get a check in the mail. We don't have any money to give you. We got some hot sauce.
Half
We got some
drank
new
by
hot
you,
sauce,
John.
baby.
Boom.
So, Troll, you're a big UFC fan, eh?
I'm a big UFC fan, and out here in California where we are, guys, I guess the best way to explain it to Chicago people is the way that you guys push muscle softeners on people, deep dish pizza and sugary popcorn and sugary meats. We have Brazilian jiu-jitsu studios on every corner, and in this community, the Gracies or their cousins, the Machados, have spawned an incredible saturation of jiu-jitsu participants, men, women, competitive athletes, and kids for years and years. So many people have been able to meet, the Gracies and the Machados and their cousins and relatives over the years. So it's got quite a following out here. And Black House MMA is right nearby, and a lot of the legendary hero guys, you train there, and competitive fighters and wrestlers. So it's quite present out here as well.
It's awesome.
You've trained a lot of professional athletes. How about John Walsh in the gym? You got any stories about our guy Stinger? Does he hit the iron pretty hard?
What do you think?
Well, what am I supposed to say about that? I mean, John is certainly a hardworking guy, self-motivated. I will not get involved in any kind of debrief for the programming he does. I think that what you guys saw during quarantine when he was training in his basement with his shirt off.
Oh my God!
He put the heat on, and did a jailhouse session with a lot of body weight stuff, jumping around, bouncing around, spending time in the mirror. And I think that's what I've witnessed him do the 20 years before that. So he was built for the quarantine.
He's built for the quarantine.
Hey, I almost puked in your bathroom one time. Remember that one of your guys was trying to show me a new machine, those hydraulic presses, and I came in hot off a plane and I was doing the presses, and then I think I might have puked in your little one stall bathroom that you call a locker room.
It's highly possible. We have all kinds of pretenders come in, and you see some pictures on the wall. We've got Jack Nicholson, Allen Iverson here, Bo Jackson, Pete Rose, Muhammad Ali, Bruce Lee, and then you think, well, these guys are here, so I'm just one of them. And you realize that you're in the deep end of the pool, and before you know it, you're throwing up on yourself in the bath. That does happen sometimes.
Oh my God! Oh, that hurt, John. There you go, John.
I still love Troll.
Oh my God!
I
That's a
still
good
love
one.
Troll.
He walked into it. I mean, these things happen. I'm not mad at anybody, and I'll give John credit that you can't throw up unless you work out hard enough to get to that.
Well, Troll, we want to thank you so much for spending a couple of minutes with us. Obviously, joining us all the way from California on our Zoom. We had a little bit of technical hits along the way, but we appreciate you hanging with us and giving us the message about the weekend workout warrior that is the Stinger. Thanks so much. Keep up the great work out there, and we appreciate you listening to Give Me the Hot Sauce.
Hey, I appreciate you guys, and try to stay out of Stacey's way, man, because more Stacey, the better for the show. Take care, guys.
Yeah, he tells us that all the time. We got
Way
that.
to go, Troll!
Great, man.
I try not to say these. I'm finally glad somebody said it. I don't like to hurt my people's feelings.
Oh boy.
I love y'all. Don't let Troll come between us. This is what Troll does. Troll's come between us.
Yeah, like more of a 2-minute segment. Yeah. Okay.
Troll Subin joining us
my
from
God,
California. Thank you so much on Give Me the Hot Sauce. We want to thank our special guest, Carlos Correa. He was fantastic talking about Major League Baseball and UFC. We had a ton of fun. Troll's going back to work as we wrap things up on episode 26 of Give Me the Hot Sauce. Hey, we got a remote show coming up, don't we, John?
Yes,
coming
we
up
do.
on
May 12th.
May 12th.
Saludos.
At Saludos Restaurant
in Gurnee.
So come on out and join us and say hello.
Hot sauce.
Yeah, get some hot sauce. It's going to be a lot of fun. Stacey, time to head out, get some lunch.
drive home safely, Chicago. Give me the hot sauce. Saucy.